Okay, let's begin. Hi, everyone. My name is Nimrod Geva, and thanks for joining my session. Before I start, can you please write something to be back in the chat box so I know you can hear me? And if you can see my screen also. Okay, thank you so much. So, hi again. My name is Nimrod Geva. I manage the KWIZ product group. And today I'm going to speak about, not about big products, some of the big products we have. I'm going to speak about small enhancements, especially targeted at content management. But the thing is that sometimes a very small change in the UI or in the user experience, or just a small feature that is missing, can have a significant effect over the entire user experience. And today I'm going to speak specifically about editing content. So just to make sure, this session is designed or is best for users that need to update SharePoint or to edit content in SharePoint on a daily basis. Like, these people are the people that feel the pain more than everyone, because even small things can affect your productivity. And we have many tools. I'm not going to deep dive into each one of them. This is a high-level overview just to give you the big picture of what you can do, what you can add to your SharePoint to enhance or to improve your content editing and make it a lot faster. So the first topic I'm gonna talk about is bulk editing. Okay, bulk editing is it's all about editing not just one item at a time. You need to edit many items, and SharePoint provides today the quick edit if you're in SharePoint on-premises, or you have the grid view if you're on SharePoint Online. The idea is similar, to provide you a kind of a spreadsheet experience that enables you to update multiple items in one shot. I'm sure there are some of you that are maybe remember the SharePoint 2010 Datasheet View. Back then, the Datasheet View was available only for IE because it's based on ActiveX control, and it provides a true Excel user experience, because this ActiveX is a client-side component. So you actually get a SharePoint page where the spreadsheet is actually running on your desktop, exactly the same as Excel does. So the entire user experience of editing is very much like working with Excel, which means you can work with your with your keyboard. You don't need the mouse all the time. The response is a lot faster, and when you need to copy or drag and drop items, everything is much faster and much more reliable than the web quick edit web experience, which is it's not really the same. So what we've done, we kind of revived the SharePoint 2010 Datasheet View, and now it's available both in SharePoint On-prem and SharePoint Online. And also, unlike the original Datasheet View, which was supported only by IE, the Datasheet View works now in all browsers. So Chrome, Edge, Firefox, and so on. So I'd just like to show you how it looks like. So let's open one of the, yeah, here we have it both for on-prem and for online. So in this example, and I'll do it many times, sometimes I'll go to online, sometimes to on-prem to show you different experiences. So once you install the Datasheet View, you see it in the ribbon button, in the toolbar, sorry. This is a modern list. I don't know how many of you try to work with the out-of-the-box grid view and try to copy, let's say, 1,000 items from Excel. If you try it, you'll see that you'll have to wait around 10 minutes. Don't leave the page. And that's a bit of a problematic experience. What I'm going to do now is also one more thing. If you go to the out-of-the-box grid view, there are things that are just too difficult. Like if I want to add many items now, so what I need to do is just click the add new item, type something, and so on. But what I'd like to do is, like in Excel, maybe grab a couple of cells and drag it down and create 10 more. But it's impossible. You cannot create more than one row at a time. Okay, and so let me show you how it looks like in the Datasheet View. So for those of you who are already familiar or remember the SharePoint 2010 Datasheet View, it's quite the same. Okay, so you get kind of a Access or Excel experience, and it's totally client-side. So I'm not working with the mouse anymore. I'm just working with a keyboard. So let's say I want to take this row, okay? And now I want to create 100 items in one shot. So I'm just going to drag it down as long as I want, okay? Okay, so I just created 40 items, and you see it behaves exactly like Excel. When you drag a numeric field, or not a numeric field, a cell that ends with a number, by default, when you drag it down, the numbers will increment. That's how Excel behaves. And same goes for dates. When you drag down a date cell, it will increment the days, okay? And of course, if I want to delete these rows, it's actually almost instant. It behaves so much nicer than the web experience because it's a client module. It's a client component that connects to the server. So it's that fast. Let's copy a lot of items. So I'm opening, I have here a Excel file with about 1,000 issues. Normally, if you try that, and I invite you to try that with the out-of-the-box quick edit view or grid view, it's quite a painful experience. And what I'm going to do now is just copy this, go here, and I'm just going to paste it. Okay. Now, this should take around 20 to 30 seconds, and you can see the progress down here. Let's see. Okay, so you see while it's doing it, you see the progress indicator here. And trying this with the out-of-the-box web page, from my experience, not just will take you a lot of time, but it will also sometimes break in the middle, which is super annoying because then you have to delete what you did and start all over again. Okay, so this is, I think that's it, we finished. So going back to my standard. Okay, so this is the Datasheet View. As I said, it's available both for SharePoint Online and for on-prem. And it supports all browsers, which is the big news here. Moving on to the next enhancement, editing enhancement. Let's see. Yeah, another type of bulk editing is when you need to update multiple rows in forms. So the out-of-the-box SharePoint forms, the SharePoint form it's a new item form or edit item form. So by default in SharePoint, you can add or edit just one item at a time. But there are many scenarios where you need to update or add multiple items in one shot. For example, purchase orders, where one purchase order includes many purchase order details, like the products that you are ordering, or expense reports, where each expense reports includes many expense detail rows. So bulk editing is also required in a forms scenario. Here we provide a solution both for SharePoint On-prem, SharePoint Online, and also inside Microsoft Teams, enabling you to turn your existing SharePoint list forms into multi-row forms. You don't need to have a form designer. You don't have to go into Power Apps or any other form designer. You stay with your original SharePoint forms, and all you have to do is just add a new type of column. And this type of column is called repeating rows. This column just displays multiple rows and connects them to a list which will store all these rows. So from end user experience, we're not talking about designing forms and all this stuff. Stay in SharePoint and just enhance it to have another type of advanced column which allows you to have multiple rows in your form. Let me show you a real quick example. So let's look for it just a second. Yeah, I think I have one here. Okay, this is SharePoint Online again. And this is here, it's a purchase order form. And you see I have the order details column. The order details column is actually kind of a lookup. It's connected to another list which holds each row here as an item. Now this repeating row column has some additional features that makes data updates faster. For example, you can define or configure calculated columns. But unlike SharePoint, these columns are not just updated when you save the item, they're updated live. So for example, here, when I select a product, the price automatically is retrieved from another list which holds these products prices. And if I change the quantity here, then it will calculate the total, okay? This is a super basic scenario that everyone needs. Again, you don't need to be a form designer. You don't need Power Apps or any other form studio, all these big words. You just need a small enhancement to SharePoint, which is the repeating rows column, okay? So this is just an example. Another example that I wanted to show you, where it is? Yeah, this is another repeating row columns. This is a expense report example. And here I configured this column to show for three rows by default, 3 empty rows by default. Again, everything is configurable. You decide if you want to have it. I also configured it to allow me to attach an item per row, because here I'm reporting expenses. So it might make sense to allow the user to attach an invoice or a receipt per each expense, okay? And of course, you can add additional expenses. You can also add rules. For example, if I report a food expense and try to report, let's say I had a very nice lunch and it cost me $150 and I try to save it, then I have a rule here that says lunch expense cannot exceed $40. So this field also allows you to configure all kind of validation rules to prevent users from filling out data which is invalid. Okay, so you get very advanced form functionality without going into becoming a form designer. Okay, you just add this to SharePoint, to your existing SharePoint list forms, and enhance it by configuration. So this was another type of bulk editing in forms. Next thing I'd like to show you is the list inline editor. Sorry, let me just show it. Yeah. Another type of bulk editing tool is called the list inline editor. This one is available only for SharePoint on-prem. And it provides a different type of functionality. It actually provides two main features. The first one is to allow you to update multiple cells without without going away from your current view. So in most cases, when you need to update SharePoint, let's say you're viewing some list view, you need to get out and go to edit item form, or go to the grid view or datasheet view. Here, you stay within the same list view and you can update multiple items or multiple cells in one shot. Another key function that you have here is copy from Excel, but here you have another advantage. When you copy from Excel to the grid view or to the datasheet view, you must have the same columns, okay? Here, you can have different columns because it allows you to map between source and target columns. So they don't have to be the same. They don't have to appear in the same order, because you'll get this mapping UI that will ask you, okay, this column in Excel, where do you want to copy it to which column in the target list? So let me just show you quickly how it works. So going to my browser, and let's go to a task list I have here. This is SharePoint 2016 in this demo. And I'm going to my task list. Okay, so this is a classic task list. And let's say I want to change all the priorities here to high, or change the due dates. So normally I would have to go to the quick edit mode, or to edit each one of them. But if I just press F2 in this case, I stay within this view, but now it's editable. So if I go here, I use the keystrokes, okay, so the arrows in my keyboard. So I can mark just this 1, 2, 3, press enter, and now I change it to high, press enter. That's it. I updated all these 3 in one shot, okay? And let's update these 2 to in progress. That's it, I updated it. This gives you the ability, when you need to update, let's say you have hundreds of items and you need to update a single column for many items in one shot, this is the fastest way to do it, okay? There's no other faster way. Same thing, the second feature that I talked about is the ability to copy from Excel with mapping. Okay, so I have here my Excel tasks, and the column headers are different, okay, and they are not in the same order as they appear here in my target list. Okay, so I'm just gonna mark a couple of them, couple of rows, and I'm just gonna copy, going back here, and you see paste here, I'm gonna paste. And this is where you get to map between this Excel source columns and the target columns. So, okay, task name from the Excel, yeah, I'll have it here. Due date is not okay. So here is the assigned to. So I should map this one to assigned to. This one should be mapped to priority. and this one should be mapped to tasks status, I think, and this one is the due date. Okay, so it doesn't matter what order you have your columns in Excel because you get to map everything. And I think my table includes headers. Yeah, let's start all over. Okay, so this is task name, and this is assigned to, and this is a priority, task status, and due date. Sorry for that. And I'm clicking paste to list. And now it goes and updates the list, and that's it. We're done. Okay. So this is a way to really quickly copy and map your data from Excel to a SharePoint list. Okay, next productivity enhancement. I'm still in this list. Let's see if what's my next one? Yeah, custom actions. Now, custom actions are really a great productivity enhancement, and they're available in SharePoint On-prem, SharePoint Online, and Microsoft Teams. And what you can do, you can add custom ribbon button or custom toolbar button that when the user clicks any of these buttons, you can automate a scenario, a use case. So, for example, when you click one of these, in this screenshot, for example, you see one of many custom actions. Each one of them, I decided on the caption, I want it to be friendly, user-friendly, not just edit item, check out, check in, the normal, the generic ones. Here we can really design custom actions that match exact user requirements. So you decide the caption, you decide when they're visible. You can set condition and say, this button will be visible only to users that belong to some group, and only if this field equals 5 and that field equals not started, I know. So they are context sensitive. They're not always there. They appear when they need to appear according to your logic. And when the user clicks any of these custom actions, you can automate many things. You can auto update the current item selected fields. You can trigger a workflow. You can redirect the user to some view or to some form or to some custom web URL. So you can automate many things and save the user a lot of time and a lot of typing mistakes. I'll give you a really quick examples. I'm staying here in my task list. Now, you see that I have here two items here that are not assigned to anyone, and I would like to assign them to myself. Imagine I had 20 like this. So normally what users do is just go and edit one by one and change the assigned to myself and click save. Or if you work with a Datasheet View, you go to Datasheet View, update all these items and go back to the normal view. With what I did here, I just created very quickly a custom action called assign to me. And what it does, it changes the assigned to myself, the current user, and it changes the task status to not started. But I don't want it to appear always, because if it's already assigned to someone else, I don't want users starting taking other people's assignments and assign them to themselves. It will create a mess. So if I go here, for example, I'm going into task 1, I will see this button. You see, assign to me also appears here. But if I go to any of the other tasks in my view, which are already assigned to someone, let's go here. This one is assigned to administrator. There is no button. So these buttons are context sensitive. They're smart. They appear when they should appear. And I can activate this custom action on a single item. But the nice thing is that I can select multiple items. In this example, I have only 2 of them. And I can just click this custom action, and it will update all the items. It tells me you will run assign to me action on these selected 2 items. Okay, and it goes and does what it does. So it updates some fields, and it tells me 1 item was skipped, and it's because it did not meet the condition. And the condition was also that it's not started. Because this one is already in progress, the action did not work on it. So you can really create very smart actions like this, making the UI for the end users a lot easier to work with and a lot clearer, okay, and a lot faster. Instead of going into the form, updating it, you can update multiple fields and redirect the user in one shot. So this was another way to make users more productive. Another very common need in SharePoint is the ability to copy and move SharePoint content, meaning ability to move documents, copy or move documents and list items and pages. You can sometimes you need to copy them to a different list on a different site or on a different site collection, on a different web application. Okay, sometimes you need just to duplicate something, because let's say you have a very big record. Okay, let's say you have an item with 20 fields. 90% of them are okay for you for the new item you want to create. So why not just duplicate an existing item, then go to the new item and just change the 2 fields that need to be changed instead of creating everything from scratch. So this is a tool both to copy and paste, but also to start from an existing item, duplicate it, and continue from there. The nice features about this tool is that you can copy move really across your entire farm. This tool is available only for SharePoint on-prem. I'll talk about online shortly. So you can really copy and move across your entire farm. It's not bound to a specific site collection or something like this. You can go across the entire farm. When you copy, you can, or move, you can ask the tool to copy the item with its version histories. Most of the time you want it when you have version history in your library or in your list. And it supports both documents and lists. Okay, and it's super simple to work with. So if I'll go here, for example, to a source list, sorry. Okay, let's go first to the target list. It's supposed to be empty. Okay, and I'm going now to my source list. And I'm just, select a few items. And then when you go here, you got the copy button here. You can copy or move. So if I click copy here, it tells me that it was copied. And now I can go to my target list, which can be on the same side, but it can be on any other side in my farm. And when I go here, all I have to do is paste. Okay. And when I click paste, I get this pop-up, which asks me if I want to copy also the version history, if there's version history configured. And in this case, I just copied the 3 items. Okay. Now in SharePoint Online, you already have an out-of-the-box copy and move. Okay. There are a few limitations to it. First of all, it supports only document libraries, whereas our tool supports both libraries and list items. It also does not go across the entire tenant. We are going to release a copy move utility, quite the same actually, for SharePoint Online. It will support only the modern list and libraries. We are not releasing a version for the classic because, as we see it, most of the users are following Microsoft guidelines to go with the modern. And it should be available only by the end of this year, so around November, December this year. Okay, so next tool that I want to talk about is another copy-paste enhancement. This one deals with a different use case. Many times, customers want to migrate their documentation, their Word document, PDF document, and so on, and migrate them to online pages, okay? And so up until recently, when you tried to copy a Word document, which included embedded images, and you tried to copy everything to SharePoint page, it was not possible because the content was copied all right, but the embedded images were not copied all right. And the result was that you got broken links in your target page. Recently, Microsoft improved it. And in the modern pages today, when you copy with SharePoint Online, I'm speaking about SharePoint Online, it's okay. In on-prem, you still cannot do it. In SharePoint Online, you can do it and it works quite nicely, but I'll show you the problems. Okay, so I'm going to SharePoint Online, and let's go to a modern page. And let's edit this page. Yeah, this is a modern page in SharePoint Online. And I'll create just a text web part. And I have here a document that has several paragraphs and some images. Okay, not super big, just a small document. Okay, so I'm just marking everything and I'm copying it. And I'm going here to the text box and I'm clicking, I'm pressing Control V. Okay, so I'm pasting it. Okay, so now the result actually looks nice. The one limitation that I see here, actually there are two limitations. The first one is that when you copy a document, and imagine that my document had 50 images and 100 paragraphs, each paragraph, each time it finds an image, it breaks it to a new web part. So actually the result of my small document is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 separate web parts. From this point now, to start managing the content, like having a table of content for all this, it's impossible. You end up having tens of separate web parts, not one page that you can manage. So to get rid of this, now I have to delete the entire section and I'll start it all over again, okay? Now I'll show you how our tool works. I'm going here to my page and I'll edit it. And let's add the same text box. Now, I'll just make sure to copy this. Okay. So, oh, sorry, I need to activate the features. Sorry, I forgot about it. Yeah. I'm going just to activate the feature. Sorry, I forgot. Okay, here you see the features we have on this site. So I'm just activating the Paste Plus feature. So I'm going back to my pages and going back to my page. And let's do the same thing. I'm editing the page. I'll just get rid of what I have here from the previous copy. You see too many web parts, so I need to get rid of them. That's because of my previous copy with the regular out-of-the-box copy-paste. Okay, so I just add a new text box, and I'm pasting right now, Control V. Sorry, I'll do it again. One last try, sorry for that. Every live demo have some, you know what, let's create a new page. I know one out of this page, so I already copied with the regular SharePoint, so I'll start fresh. Okay, so new site page. And I'm adding a text box, web parts to this modern page. And okay, I'm sorry, something is, I'm on a sandbox environment. I don't know if it's messed up. I'm sorry, I won't be able to demonstrate this one. So I'm skipping on to the next one. Sorry for that. One more tool that I wanted to show you, which saves a lot of time, is has to do with when you migrate either from SharePoint 2013 to 16 or to 19, or from on-prem to online, it doesn't matter. During this migration, server names change, so URLs change, and you finish your migration, but then you discover that you have in your SharePoint documents and list items and that still contain hard-coded old URLs that refer to your older environment. So you end up having many documents, many list items with obsolete or strings that need to be fixed. Now, doing it manually, it's not a fun job. So for that, we have a post-migration tool. And what it does is very simple. It enables you to define pairs of strings. These strings can be URLs, but they can be any pairs of strings. One is the string that you want to find, and the other is the string that you want to replace it with. And it enables you to search many URLs, many sites in your farm or in your tenant, and replace these strings according to various rules. So as you can see here, for example, this is a screenshot of the tool. So you can actually find strings or URLs anywhere, including in your master pages if you've done customizations and you don't know that your developers used hard-coded URLs because they never thought you'll migrate to a new environment. or include documents or web parts. So you can search everywhere in SharePoint, including in text documents. So Office documents and PowerPoint and so on, and PDFs, as long as they are textual and not include image inside them. And you can also provide rules. So you can say, search only in these libraries. I don't want to search hundreds of libraries. I know where I want. So you can limit the search. And then you can run it in discovery mode, which means only generate a report for me, because I don't want to mess my environment. I just want to check where the replacement will be. And then you can switch to replace mode. This is when the tool actually goes and replace every string that it finds that requires replacement. Okay, and this tool is very handy. We see a lot of customers coming to us after they've done the migration. They never saw it coming, that they never knew that they have so many hard-coded URLs and strings that link back to their older environment, and now they need to replace. That's about it. We have many additional tools, and if you're interested in finding productivity tools, I'll just give you a quick tour how to find them. And I'm focusing now only on content management, content editing. You can find other tools if you want. But if you go to our website, KWIZcom.com, then we have two types of tools. We have SharePoint On-prem add-ons, and we have Microsoft 365 apps. Now, for each of these products, we have categories. So today I was talking only about one category, which is content management. And specifically, I was talking about bulk edit here and copy desktop to SharePoint and copy move and Datasheet View. But there are other small enhancements that really make a significant change over the user experience. I'll give you just a quick example here without demonstrating it, just to show you what I mean by small but very visible enhancement. For example, we have a very small tool which is called URL with file picker. Now, the regular URL column, I'm sure you all know, you need to type the URL there. This is the most annoying thing. Why didn't they put a picker so you'll be able to pick one of the resources that you have on your SharePoint? So we just added to this column the ability to browse SharePoint or your local folders, or even to upload a file, all done in one shot. Okay, so this very small enhancement just makes your URL column a lot faster to work with instead of copying URL. So same way you can look for other tools that really enhance content management. If you're interested in other categories, you have data visualization tools. It's all about more visual web parts, often used in dashboards, and you have forms and mobile tools. All our tools are designed for non-technical users. That's the concept here. We're trying to let you use SharePoint and not take you out of SharePoint with some bigger tool, but seamlessly integrate with SharePoint by enhancing your existing SharePoint environment. So I think that's about it. If you have one last thing that I forgot to mention. All these tools, apps and add-ons for on-prem, are available for free trial. You can try them for as long as you want. You can also try them on our sandbox if you want, if you don't want to go through the hassle of installing and deploying and configuring. You can write to us. You can send me an email. You see my email here, or to sales@KWIZcom.com and ask for a private sandbox if you want to play with any of the products, or you can download trial version, which is fully functional, and play with the products in your environment.